Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your timeless work, career, and vocation reading, though being done last day of March 2022. At the time of this recording, I am your reader, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, author of Words of Grace, from a professional witch, available on Kindle, links in the description box, my legacy, unless I write another one, and creator on Patreon, patreon.com/Drawing the Circle. I'm the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hey, I'm having so much fun with that. Let's get down to biz, shall we? If you are new to the channel, this is actually what's called a 3 levels of power reading. We're just applying those 3 levels, like lenses, to life purposes looked at through work, career, and vocation. There is a video link in the description box to a Myss lecture. This is her archetype deck we're going to start with in a minute, talking about the 3 levels of power and how you can apply it and all that. So if you want to go deeper, go there, right? There are chakras involved. We'll get there. We'll see what flies out of my mouth as we go. But suffice to say that I'm well aware of what's going on planet Earth with the Ukraine and Russia. I have a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, who is Ukrainian, an American citizen, flying back to help, either to fight or to rebuild, or probably a bit of both. So our fulfilling our life's purposes, I don't know about you, but it's kind of the only way I can help right now. You know, like I could throw money at it, but I don't have it like that. And I don't have the political power. So the financial political power I don't have to influence. But I can fulfill my life purpose right here. That's what keeps the planet turning. What's it for? Just saying. And because we are all one, maybe we can all get through this with a little bit more guidance, grace, love, wisdom, and power. But enough of that. It is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs to find your leverage, because each spread, there's usually one of the 3 levels that shows your leverage. Work on this one. It'll help align the other 2. And certainly your sun sign could be more about work, your moon sign more about career, and your Venus sign more about vocation. And we'll explain what that means as we go. Otherwise, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will, and I will get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can. I've been doing these readings for clients for decades now, since I learned about the 3 levels of power, I think back in the late 90s or the early 2000s. An audiobook by Myss, 3 levels of power. Worth a listen. So let's do this. Please take a nice deep breath. 13 cards about to hit the table. So let's do this right. Breathe. Still point. As I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose, and the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, for the Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, watching this video, receiving this reading. I need 3 Myss archetype cards to represent the 8th chakra dynamic hovering over the head of the Libra collective, denoting the shadow work, the soul power being developed, spiritual lesson, however they want to do that. First in their work, first level of power, affecting their survival intuition, how they survive in the world. Lower 3 chakra dominant. In their career, their creative intuition, their internal process, their psychological world, their feminine energy, first level being masculine energy, external. But their career, what they yearn for, what they burn for, what they thirst, what they hunger for in their creativity, heart, third eye crown, dominant. Yeah. And for the 8th chakra of their vocation, their spiritual calling, their inspiration, their sealed orders. I've heard that talked about in so many different ways, right? But more about their mystical power. As a divine being in human form, but hovering. What do you got there for their visionary intuition? Their calling, 8th chakra dominant. They're in the title. Oh my goodness. Two child archetypes and a wild card. This is nuts. I've never seen this before. Well, I mean, there are a lot of cards. But this is a really, really interesting way to look at this. Okay, so let's talk about the child archetype before we talk about the magical and the nature aspect. Everybody has a child archetype because everybody was a child. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. We all had to come through the birth canal and be born and deal with our tribes and our societies and the conditioning and all of that. It is one of four in the survival family archetype: the child, the victim victor, the saboteur empower, and the prostitute archetype. It has very little to do with sex, but it's in there. It's in there, but that's not the whole story. Each one is a guardian. The child archetype is the guardian of your innocence and your safety. Right? That innocence that can never truly be taken from you, however. I know it doesn't seem that way. And your ability to see things with open eyes. Now, I've said it over and over again, the spectrum of the child archetype, from shadow to light, lead to gold, toxic to healthy, pain to peace, is from childish, P.B. Herman, to childlike Dalai Lama. And that's just one of a billion different examples they could give. And I'm P.B. Lama. I don't know. I'm somewhere in the middle, right? Given on the given day and where I am. So that we've got a survival family archetype. In the survival intuition is important. So we'll look at these differently. Of the four survival archetypes, the child archetype is the only one that has like sub-patterns in it. So there is the magical child, the divine child, the orphan child, the nature child, on and on and on. You got the magical child, which is very Harry Potter, and I mean it. The shadow attribute: pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles. Believing that energy and action are not required for growth. Yeah, you can cast as many spells as you want, but you gotta walk it too, right? Just as from a magical point of view, right? You can pray, meditate, light as many candles, burn all the incense down. But, requires action, absolutely. But do you feel safe to take that action? See, that's the healing part of it. The light attribute that you're shooting for here, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. Now, I have the magical child archetype. I got a bunch of the sub-patterns, so I can relate to this. I mean, believe me, in my family, I'm the magical child. Line us up, point me out. The one with the purple hair and the pentacles, yeah, pretty much. So, sure, depression, sadness, but I have alchemized it to really trust that magical child, of that inner magical child of my soul. But I would play with those words a little bit. The belief that everything is possible, well, possible and probable are not the same thing. That shows a wiser child, right? You gotta take action. You gotta take action. That's why I work every day, one way or another. So, by the way, I'm Mercury conjunct Venus and Libra, so this might be about me as well. I accept that when it does hit the table that way. But let's talk about the nature child. Now, this I have in me, although I'm not really big on camping at my age. Thank you very much. But I do love being at the beach. I mean, staying at the beach. I do love a walk through a garden, a forest, and all of that. I talk to animals. My boys in particular, my 3 black cats, trust me. We have a pretty open communication system here. But check this, the shadow attribute: tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. Right? That means the potential of that is within me. But this is your career, your heart, throat, third eye, crown thing. So whatever it is, your passion, your hunger, your thirst is, your creative process is definitely in terms of your innocence when you're in nature, right? Because the light attribute, friendship with animals, as if on command. This is, ladies and gentlemen, my youngest son, the third prince, Melchior. Not that he's the third prince named Melchior, meaning he's the third of the 3. Right on cue, my Taurus baby. Head bonk. He's the best. See? Communication with animal spirits. You just witnessed it. Perfect timing, sweetheart. He's just going to camp out next to me. If you can't, he's a black cat on a black cushion. Let's move on. That's really cool. The Shapeshifter, however, particularly, come on, Sam Merlot, white courtesy telephone. Come on, a magical nature child who's a shapeshifter. Come now. Now, however, you gotta look beyond her name just went out of my head from the X-Men. From the X-Men, I can't believe her name just went out. Mystique, thank you very much, whoever said that, I heard you. Even though I'm recording this way before you even said it. This is a wild card family archetype, and if you take it just on that level, any archetype that you take directly on, you won't see it most likely. The shadow attribute, projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. Come on, we've all done it. It's a human trait, right? You feel out the room, it's like, well, let me, and I will say, growing up as a gay male, that was a survival trait, right? It was necessary. I came out in the 80s, way before it was popular. The light, though I was, the light aspect, and I think you'll dig this a lot, considering it's 8th chakra dominant, your spiritual mystical power, skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. Now, you put the potential in anything with the belief that everything is possible, then you really look at this as a possible leverage. That's the most we're going to talk about any of these cards, but we have to lay down the archetypal bones, as it were. Let's put some meat on them bones. Daughters of the Moon Tarot will be specifically about the internal world. The internal world, the feminine energy, your goddess energy, heart, third eye, crown across the board. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Head bonk. As I call upon my goddesses of air, the sign of Libra, powers of the East, please, my goddesses, 3 cards in clarity, straight up, one at a time, for the Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, in their 3 level of power, work, career, vocation read. In their work, they have the magical child, what's going on inside, for this reading. Capricorn, the Crone of Pentacles, Pessoa, the Buffalo Woman, that would be the King of Pentacles, Cardinal, Earth. Just the vibe on that is that your own internal wisdom, you got way more wisdom than you realize, and you have gained it slowly over a long period of time. So remember, when we're talking about a child, that choice to actually back up your belief that anything is possible, everything is possible, by actually looking back at your own life. Now, there's probably going to be some childhood wounds, issues, unresolved stuff. Who ain't got that? Well, the Dalai Lama doesn't have that, one would think. You never know. I doubt it. But definitely a slow and steady wins the race process here. There is a creativity in you. Creative Earth, Cardinal Earth. And if you are working boundaries, right, if you are really looking at what are my boundaries, how do I protect this magical child of my heart in a time of such intense cynicism and lies, illusions, deceptions, and delusions, liars, thieves, and villains, right? How do I protect this magical child of my heart? Even though 8th chakra, you know what I mean? My goddesses, please, in their career, the nature child, which to me is Pan, right, is definitely Pan as a young fawn, a young little satyr, son of Hermes and Almathea. Please, what do you got? Heart, third eye, crown for my beloved Libra collective. Nature child in their career. 2nd chakra, interesting. You got a 2nd court card. I forgot to say, when it's a court card inside heart, third eye, crown, it's an astrological, it's a zodiacal house dynamic. You got Capricorn, that's 10th house, your highest potential. Well, and the ability to see the potential in everything. This is about your growth, like in the literal physical world, but you might still be learning how to survive in this new world, which it doesn't matter what age you are. Nothing is the same as it was 3 years ago. Right? Add the name in the recording. So here we've got Aries, Cardinal, Fire. You got 2 cardinal signs here, and they both have horns, just to say. Calafia, sort of the Amazon goddess of California, indigenous, right? I don't remember the name of the tribal land at the moment. There is great power inside of you, but you got to focus on you right now, right? That nature child. I don't know. I would say that Aries energy on the inside, very throat chakra, very much your choices and your decisions to choose you right now, but to do it in a healthy way. And if that means I have to go get my feet in the sand, or I need to go hug a tree, or I just need to tap in to the unity consciousness in all of nature. The green, as they like to call it in DC Comics, that swamp thing, yeah, I always get my green men confused, considering I'm a Dionysus archetype. So yeah, this might be higher selfish, helping yourself, but it can also be a spark of really using your creative fire in some way that does light you up. And it can be all of that, too. It can be cause and effect either way. Shapeshifter, wild card. You never know how a wild card is going to manifest, right? Like with the child, you can find a spectrum between childish and childlike. The shapeshifter, that can show up all sorts of ways. Breathe. My goddesses, please. One card in clarity for the Libra Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in their vocation, the star that pulls them forward, right? Their sacred contracts, their spiritual power, their mystical power. Shapeshifter in the 8th. What's going on? Because it's 8th chakra dominant level of power, but what is the heart, third eye crown dynamic of the moon? So your calling might be a little cloudy right now, but it's there. You could feel it. A major arcana card, heart, third eye crown, is all 4 chakras at once, where really the earth element really is, if you want to say, it's the wisdom that you've gained throughout your whole nervous system, heart, third eye crown, right? What you've learned, this about the self, the ego, the personality, this is very much making choices and decisions for yourself, but you want to do that from that nature child place. So, you know, if there's a decision in your career and it really comes down to this isn't natural for me, I need something like that, or maybe you're creating something of that nature, that is certainly there. But right now, you may be, well, between levels of consciousness. Very easy to have one foot in the third dimension, one in the fourth. To have one in the fourth and one in the fifth, however you want to play it. But to be able to communicate with people, to meet people where they're at, is certainly that a shapeshifter. But to do it with a shady in a vocation is no good. That's trying to be all things to all people. And that can become very, very manipulative, right? Duplicitous. So things are a little foggy there right now, but it might be because you're in a place of change. Even major arcanas do change. Eventually, it is, after all, a cycle. Let's get the lower 3 chakras, the masculine. Lower 3 chakras from the outside looking in at you, inside of you looking out. Usually it's both of those things in some way connected. But it's also about your relationships, root chakra, tribes, circles of people, your nationality, your favorite band, all of that and beyond, right? Your DNA, human tribe, if you want to go there. Second chakra, one-on-one relationships, money, sexuality, creativity, which we do have a pretty strong creative vibe here on the table with Cardinal, Earth, Capricorn, Cardinal, Fire, Aries. But your relationship to yourself, solar plexus, what you will, what you won't, what you do, what you don't, your self-esteem as a verb, your survival intuition that only you get, and that's why you can't necessarily ask people all the time what they think. Well, you can ask them, but your visionary intuition here with the moon, the answer's there. It's just cloudy. You got to feel your way through it, not think your way through it. Ooh. Please take a nice deep breath. Melky, chill, still point. As I call upon my gods of air, the sign of Libra, powers of the East, please, my beloveds. 3 cards in clarity for the Libra Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. Work, career, vocation. in their work. They've got the magical child on the inner, Capricorn on the outer, and 5 of Pentacles on the outer. All right. So there's probably a loss of walking away. I mean, ghosting. People want to say that, and I get that, being left out in the cold. But certainly a magical child that feels abandoned might certainly feel pessimistic, depressed, and not believe in miracles. And that part about believing that energy and action are not required for growth, that's a sliding scale for all of us, right? But 5 of Pentacles definitely speaks of a physical change, usually not one wanted, but often needed, and you don't have to like it just because it's part of the curriculum of being human on planet Earth, the hero's journey. What's going on inside of you is you are alchemizing wisdom through experience, Capricorn. A very good way of looking at the hero's journey, of making your way up the mountain one step at a time, but on the inner. Now, if you are a magical practitioner, I would say that's part of that. But you got to take action as well. And yes, a little magical action goes a long way, but when the inspiration comes, and that's the thing with the moon in your vocation, you might feel a little cut off from the satellite. But it's temporary. It is temporary. But that's why you got to hard third eye crown yourself. However that plays itself out. So let's look. My gods, please. Nature child on the inner. In the career, 8th chakra. I'm just looking at the child card of Aries. Aries is the child of the zodiac. Cardinal fire, Calafia. That would be the king of Wands. So we've got the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands here on the table. What's going on lower 3 chakras here in their vocation, what they yearn for, what they burn for, what lights up that nature child for them? Another king, and not only is it another king, it's another cardinal king. King of Swords. Libra, you've got 3 of the cardinal signs here. Now, this very much could be somebody outside of you. And like I said, lower 3 chakras, it can be someone you're dealing with. This could also be you from the outside looking in, trying to what? 7th house it, right? You're trying to be fair, but you're trying to do it with the mind. And that's understandable. You have got a very compatible creative vibe in your creative intuition. Air on the outer, fire on the inner. Breathe it in, right, so to speak. Bring yourself, look at your solar plexus in terms of your honor code. Things change. My honor code as a child is not what it is now as an adult, and probably will shift today, like later today. Every day is a winding road. We get a little bit closer. Wisdom from the crow. Let's try to keep it light, folks. I'm aware of what's going on planet Earth. This is my way to help heal this world, right? Fulfilling my gig. And hopefully helping the people of Ukraine and everywhere who are in need of it. Let's keep going. Vocation, shapeshifter, and that might be the thing. You may have no control over your vocation changing shape. Mine did. I used to be a minister. Can you imagine it? Reverend Potty Mouth. They used to call me out the Silver Broom as a founding member, no longer affiliated. I defrocked myself, right? And I ended up on YouTube. Who knew? But now I'm on Patreon, and I'm thrilled, right? It totally shifted shape, but the essence of the truth of my vocation is still there as a mystic. Mystic, teacher, artist, producer. That's my career, my vocation, my career, my work, right? How it comes down through the chakras. Well, if you can see it from different levels of consciousness, but the see it isn't so much third eye as it's 8th chakra. Get above it. Transcend. See it from the highest level of consciousness you can. Because, darlings, there's always a higher truth. There just always is. That's how it is. I didn't write it that way, and if I did, I don't remember doing it. Breathe. My gods, lower 3 chakras for this one. Please, from the outside looking in, what does this look like for them? Please, for the Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in their vocation, their calling, their mystical power. Shapeshifter in the 8th, Moon on the inner, Moon over their hammy. They've got the 4 of Cups, so it's a little meh. Of course it's a little meh. Well, that range from, it could be sadness and depression. Feeling spiritually depressed in the physical world. I get it. If you're an empath on top of that, you're feeling it for millions of people in any given second, if not billions, right? And this certainly speaks of a strong empathic field, or at least an intuitive one. So what you're feeling isn't wrong. It's just cloudy with a chance of meatballs, vegan or otherwise. Four of Cups is that at best and at worst. Emotional guidance scale, Abraham Hicks, ask and it is given. That's all I'm going to say. Anything below board, right? Anything below board, B-O-R-E-D. Isn't that right, buddy? Oh, it's a sausage tail. All right, so, you know, we only have one major arcana card on the table. We've got a lot of zodiac. We've got earth, air, and water. So you have a balance of the elements in the tarot, at least in the sense that all of them are present, right? Right, we have fire, earth, air, water, and spirit, a major arcana. So good. We've got a full set of tools. Let's keep going. We're going to get you a healing mantra for each of these. I'm not doing it from the bookie book because these readings are long enough, but I highly recommend the Kahn healing mantra deck. I don't get any kickbacks. This is not a paid advertisement. This is not a sponsorship. Many of my clients have gotten them. So when I read them, they're like, oh, I love that one because they're working it, right? So let's see what the Ascended Masters have to say. Breathe. Nice one. Still point. As I call upon the Ascended Masters of life purpose through the lenses of work, career, and vocation, please. 3 healing mantras. Not going to look at them until all of them are on the table. For the Libra Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. I mean, it feels like inner child work in some way, shape, or form. There are many venues, many ways into that. Would be helpful. With all that child magical and nature. So really this is the Shapeshifter Nature&Magical child, I guess, is because you read them from the 8th chakra down. So please, what is the perfect healing mantra for their work, magical child in the 8th, Capricorn on the inner, 5 of Cups on the outer? For their career, nature child in the 8th, Aries in the inner, and Libra, essentially the opposite signs, cardinal air, cardinal fire. It is this new moon to full moon that we're about to step into tomorrow, oddly enough. So please, what's the perfect healing mantra for their career to bring all of those chakras in alignment? And for their vocation, their spiritual calling, their mystical power with the Shapeshifter in the 8th, Yemaya, the moon. They may not see the path that's always there, but when you go to a body of water at full moon on a clear night, it reveals itself, but it's always there. But with that 4 cups on the inner, it might be like, maybe I just rest. I don't know. And sometimes that's the wisest thing. But give that to them, the perfect healing mantra to help them with that in this timeless work, career, vocation, Rita Rama. Embodying my soul in your work, I like that one. Resolving anger in your career, and balancing the brain in your vocation. I dig it. So look at it this way. In my work, career, vocation, I'm embodying my soul, resolving anger, and balancing my brain. The mantras, those are just the names of the mantras. If you read the mantras from the 8th chakra down, in your vocation, you can be and do all at once. All about balancing the brain, mindfulness. I've been using this to like scoop litter and catch myself when I find myself drifting. I can be and do all at once. Yin-yang alignment. In your vocation, conflict reminds me when I need more space for myself. Maybe out in nature to get your stuff balanced and get that creative spark on the inner aligned with literally balancing both sides of the brain. Come on, it's a Libra, heart, throat, third eye. Well, no, that's lower 3 chakras. Keep an eye on your honor code there. And I have in your work a magical child who's worked really hard on the inside, learned a lot of stuff, but is going through it. I have the right to be excited. It might very well be that the reason why things seem so clouded is because you are inflamed. You need a rest. You need a break. Because conflict, even if it's inner conflict, not that we need to isolate ourselves, but it reminds me when I need more space for myself. Right? And sometimes all you get is the bathroom. I live alone. I live with cats. They're great. So that's an easy thing for me, but that's not easy for everyone. But if you could take a walk out in nature, pick your form, I think there's going to be a real self-spark in there, right? Something that allows you to heal and understand that this is all a journey instead of being burnt, right? Afraid of being excited, because I think you are probably intuitively picking up on, but there's a greater purpose to this. There's something good that's going to come out of this. I have a right to be excited, embodying my soul, but I can be and do all at once. I don't have to know every single step of how it's going to happen, because I don't think you can right now, but the guidance is there. The signal is a little wonky, right? Sunspot activity. Well, there's that going on too right now at the time of this recording, actually, from what I understand from the interwebs. So, embodying the soul in your work, resolving anger in your career, because like, well, yeah, I want to do what I want to do, right? That nature child, just don't burn down the forest. And balancing the brain, you can be and do all at once. That's 12 cards. Let's use the new one, the new deck, the Chakra Reading Cards by Rachel Sharman, although it's Rachelle. I think that's Rochelle. I'm not sure. Please don't cancel me. By Rockpool. Yeah, I like them. Never heard of them before this, unfortunately, but I really like their stuff. It is a chakra deck. Obviously, it's gonna maybe point at where your leverage is here, but I'm gonna say I can feel it. It's in the nature child, right? Resolving anger. Take space for yourself. It doesn't mean you stop talking to people forever and ever more. It's not the hermit, right? It's connecting with the unity of nature, not just Mother Earth. The water, the fire, the air, the fire, the water, the earth. Return, 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 return. Breathe. A lot of energy in this one mentally. Still point. As I call upon the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. What is the chakra that would be most helpful to align and unify the work-career-vocation, 3 levels of power: visionary intuition, creative intuition, survival intuition, each one of them necessary to manifest creativity into form. Leave the card in my hand for the Libra Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in their work-career-vocation. Whoa, card number 34, Universal Light. Wow. Come now. I believe that's solar plexus. Right, card number 34. Oh, no, it is higher than that. Oh, right, the crown chakra is gold in this deck, not purple, I think, is how that works. Let's find out. Where are you? Card number 33. The solar star chakra. So this is the 8th chakra. Well, it's kind of is pointing towards this being your leverage, but let me read it to you. It's a little long, but it's got an affirmation at the end. Mix them together with these. I think you'll have a field day, air sign that you are. Get creative with your air. Oh, by the way, this is Libra. From the outside looking in, you're a Libra. Duh, sorry. Take it as I see it, folks. Breathe. Still point. Let's do this. Card number 34, Universal Light, Soul, Star, Chakra, 8th chakra. You have pulled this card today to remind you that you are always connected to and on... What? You have pulled this card today to remind you that you are always connected to and an extension of the powerful universal light of the cosmos. We're saying that to a magical child, and that should click. This light is what fuels your soul and gives birth to the stars. It is all wise, all knowing, all loving energy of the universe. This light is divine, unconditional love at its purest. Sometimes you can feel disconnected and shut off from this light. It's right there, Shapeshifter. However, in truth, you are an extension of and made up of this energy and can never be separate, this pure, non-dualistic unity point of view. This light loves, guides, and supports you at all times. You're being encouraged to focus on this divine connection to the cosmos and do what is required to deepen and awaken fully to this universal light, and that is a journey. But to be able to see things innocently, to see things with fresh eyes, get those children happy, healthy, or wealthy, or wiser, this will be easier to integrate. You may like to introduce meditation into your daily routine, attend a spiritual awakening event or workshop, work with some powerful breathing exercises, breathe, or even take up yoga to deepen your connection. Whatever you choose, make sure to action this connection to the universal light of the cosmos. Magical child, got to put it into action. Makes sense. First level of power, physical level of power. As you awaken to this unconditional love, you will feel an abundance of wisdom, Capricorn on the inner, support, strength, and light within you and your world. It will assist you to make clear decisions as you step toward your personal power. Definitely that nature child on the inner there, resolving anger. Your heart will expand with love as your soul heals, bringing you peace of mind and well-being in your world. This universal light of the universe loves you no matter what you have or haven't done. And that child in our heart needs to know that's true. Because it is. This is truth. It doesn't matter what you have done or haven't done in your life. It does not judge. And it is unconditional. It understands you at the deepest level. This light is you, your pure essence, underneath the costume and the makeup and the role. Work. Open your hearts to receive the love of universal light available to you at all times. You are an amazing, powerful being. And now it's time to believe in your light. The affirmation: I am a divine channel of universal light. Because we all are. But a channel can have static on it, right? A channel of anything, a channel of water can get a little blocked up every now and again. So you gotta roto that out. But that's the process. We're looking at someone who has a lot of power here. I'm not gonna kid you, but your ability to see things, right? I mean, it's written right here on the card. Skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. That's cloudy. I get it. But you have an opportunity to connect with universal light, which we all do every day, all day, every breath. But if there is anger in the way here, right, you need to take space for yourself, because it's okay to feel angry. Just don't burn down the village. You know? Let me put it together for you in a blessing, as I always do. A little summation blessing there. We'll chat a little bit and then we're done. Please take a nice deep breath last time. Still point. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine, for the Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, may they be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, vocation, though we're starting with vocation, so that in their life purpose, they can embrace their skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness with an ability to see the potential in everything and anything, following the intuitive, the creative intuition. They may not be able to see it so clearly. There might be a lot of emotions going on the inner or on the outside, the outer, that Four of Cups, somewhere to bored, depressed, in pain, but that they can be and do all at once. They don't have to choose their masculine over their feminine, their intellect over their intuition. They can be and do all at once, staying in the present moment, being mindful, and so that in their career, They embrace their friendship with animals and their communication with nature spirits, because that's going to recharge the child archetype inside of them. That nature child can get more Pan than Aries energy. For the nature child there, some choice that they have to make, but to get that they are doing this for themselves, for their own well-being, and that they can be the King of Swords. Libra, balanced, cardinal, air, making wise decisions, but considering the anger involved in here, that they need to make these decisions, because conflict is a reminder when they need more space for themselves as they resolve the anger in this, their career thing. And that could be about anything, a person, a place, a situation, an economic trend, a downturn, so that the magical child of their work in the world, that they're able to see the potential for sacred beauty in all things, which is a lot easier when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, but they'll get there. And the belief that everything is possible, but it's backed up with that Capricorn wisdom of slow and steady wins the race. The King of Pentacles, Pessoa, the Buffalo Woman, so associated with getting everything that you need, one step by step along the way up the mountain, even though this Five of Pentacles place that they are in right now is probably uncomfortable. Change is never easy, particularly with planet Earth being what's going on right now. However this is playing themselves out, may they embody their soul, that when they catch those magical glimpses of everything is possible, that they have a right to be excited. They may not tell everybody in the world about it, but that's okay. That's why they need to take that space, and that's why they need to balance the brain, get that they can be and do all at once, so that they can really draw down from the soul star, from the universal light, that they are love at the core of all of this, and that is hovering right above their head in their vocation, that their leverage really does seem to be in their vocation. So being and doing all at once, being an infinite channel of universal light for their well-being and for the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So motivating. So it is. It's very powerful. And look, any inner child work that anybody can do is helping all children everywhere, particularly the ones disguised as adults. They may look like it on the outside, but wounded children on the inside ruling the world. No more. We gotta help out in that. So did you like it? Hit the thumbs up, like it. Want more? Subscribe on YouTube. You hit the notification bell, because I'm putting these out when they are done. Sometimes they take a really long time to upload. So as soon as they're done, get a notification of when that goes down. And certainly, if you want to come play my magical child, come play treat on patreon.com/drawing the circle. I think that's just going to get more elaborate as time goes on, so I hope you're enjoying it. I am. And if you want a private read, easy enough. Link in the description box, a YouTube video I made last year called Booking a Reading with Mal. Explains everything for you, just like Clarissa. So wishing you all the very, very best in your life fulfillment. And remember, it's helping everyone on planet Earth for the well-being of all. I love you. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.